Into the holiday of Shavuos. It feels like it's Friday, but it's only Thursday. And we have a 2-day Yom Tov coming up. It's Friday and Shabbos. Just a reminder to make an Eruv Tafshilin, which will allow us tomorrow to prepare for Shabbos as well. And of course, we're going to be reading the book of Rus on Shabbos, as every year at Shavuos time we read the book of Rus. And there's obviously that Rus was a convert, and she had showed a great faith and is a model. And Rus is the great-great-grandmother of David HaMelech, of King David, and ultimately Mashiach is a descendant from her as well. And that is all connected to the holiday. But one of the things that people talk about is that there's a statement brought down in the Medrash that Rabbi Zera said that this Megillah of Rus, it doesn't really talk about laws. It's not it's a story. So it's a very nice story. So why is it? Why was it written? What was the point of it? And he says the reason is to teach you the reward for people who are gomle chesed, people who do kindness. And Rus was someone who did a great amount of kindness, as the Megillah itself attests to, where Nami says to her when she's wants her to stay, they're leaving the field Moab after their husbands had died, and she wants to go back to Israel. And she said, Hashem should do kind with you, like you have done with me and with your husband who passed away, etc. And later on, also, we see that Boaz, who notices her, and that again, the kindness, and it seems that the aspect of Chesed that she does stands out. And the question is asked, like, why is that, when you want to talk about Rus, is really that what stands out? I mean, if you're familiar with the story, we know that she was a Moabite princess. She married the son of Nami, Machlon, who died. And she ends up leaving everything behind. She could have gone home. She could have gone back to the palace and be a princess. And she gives it all up to go to Israel, to join the Jewish people, to be poor, because Naomi had nothing left. And she was obviously showing tremendous amount of faith and tremendous belief in God. And it would seem that that really is what is so special about Rus, that here she was this tremendous, she could have had wealth, she could have had honor, she was a princess, and she gives it all up to follow Hashem and to follow the laws of the Torah. That would seem to be the great message, and of course for Shavuos time, it's perfect. Yet they're highlighting the idea of Chesed, and what is it that is so important about the idea of Chesed that it seems to override the issue of her tremendous faith. And it's brought down in a sefer I have called Yalkut Lechatov, that in the name of Rabbi Cheskel Levenstein, that he says that if you think about it, what does Chesed really mean? True Chesed. We say, oh, Chesed, you do something nice for somebody, you did a Chesed. But when you want to refer to somebody as a Baal Chesed or a Baalat Chesed, somebody that is who they are, that's what they do. What is happening when we do Chesed for someone else? What is happening is that we are saying, you know what? I could have been doing something else. I could have had this for my time for myself. Maybe I could have had this money for myself. This is what I could have had for me. And I am making it available to you. I am going to give you my time. I am give you my expertise. I may give you some of my money. Whatever it is, I am giving up what I have and letting you have it. And that is the concept of Mavater, somebody who is able to say, you know what? It's not all about me, right? It's true. Sometimes we do things for others and it is selfish. But that's not what a Baal Chesed is. A Baal Chesed is that person who is doing it because they mean it. And a person who's really I'm giving up from my own, and I'm going to give it up and do it for you. Like we say, parents sacrifice for their children, right? Well, a Baal Chesed or Baalas Chesed sacrifices for other people. Maybe the word sacrifice is not necessarily the right word in a sense, but is willing to give up for other people. And it says that element, that characteristic is really essential when it comes to following Hashem and following the Torah. Because when it gets right down to it, again, everybody wants to do what's going to feel good, make you happy at the moment. And when it comes to following the laws of the Torah, yeah, why is it that we don't? So generally speaking, what happens is that we really do believe. It's just that I would like to do this thing because I enjoy it, and I would like to do that thing and I enjoy it, and therefore that's getting in the way of our true belief. And if we are the type, we have a personality that says, I am willing to give up my own pleasure for someone else or for something else, then we can get beyond it, right? If your attitude is always, I'm never giving up anything on my own, I'm not going to give up my own pleasure, so then that makes it very difficult for you to say, oh, I am not going to do this particular sin or give up this particular pleasure that the Torah says is no good because I don't want to give anything up. But if you have an attitude that is willing to give up for others, then it becomes part of your nature. And this character trait, so ultimately, is an essential for being able to follow the Torah. And he quotes the Sefer HaChinuch, who tells us that, which we've quoted many times, that when we do things, it changes us. And therefore, while you don't expect someone to take a major leap and change from A to Z in one minute, but it's baby steps. And therefore, what we do is we in order to achieve that, we start small. And every time we do something for someone else, that is going to make us that much more of a person who's willing to give up, a person who's willing to do. And similarly with mitzvahs, every time we do a mitzvah, it's going to make it that much easier for the next time because it's going to become part of our nature. And therefore, the lesson of Rus ultimately is that it was this trait of hers that was her chesed. It was the fact that she was a person who was a balat chesed. And that is what gave her the strength and the ability to be able to give everything up and follow Nami and be able to accept Hashem and the Torah. It wasn't just that she, oh yes, had this tremendous belief, but she also had to have that backbone and that ability to say, I am willing to give up other things, personal pleasures, for a greater reason. And therefore, we take that lesson, the lesson of faith, from Rus, which was taught to us through the fact that she was a Balas Chesed. And we too are able to, as we go into Shavuos, say we are capable of the same thing. We are capable of, I won't do this thing even though it gives me pleasure because I know I shouldn't be doing it. And I will do this thing even though it's a little bit hard and it's going to take away from something else because this is the right thing to do. And in that manner, we were able to come into the holiday of Shavuos and re-accept the Torah as we do every year and accept the fact that the idea that we are willing to sacrifice a little bit, or maybe even a lot, in order to be able to follow the Torah and to follow Hashem. Have a great Yom Tov, everyone, and we will see you next week.